Are you feeling the calling to start or grow a business that is so aligned with you and everything that makes up who you are? Do you know that there has to be a way to do this without so much hustle and without chasing the latest shiny object, but you're just not sure how? You can definitely have a dream business that improves, not consumes your life, that allows you to work with soulmate clients while helping you and your family financially and in all ways. You can elevate yourself to be the entrepreneur who has all of her desires. I'm going to show you how on the Elevated Femmes movement.
Hello, welcome back to another episode. I'm really excited to chat and talk about health and wellness today. As you guys know, that is one of my passions and really how I got started in the whole online business world. So I'm excited to chat with Erica today. Hold on, of course I'm moving my thing here so I can tell you guys more about Erica. She's a certified health and wellness coach from Fairmont, New York. She graduated from the Institute of Integrative Nutrition and currently helps women learn how to have a better balance with healthy foods and also healthy foods too, because that is important. And so that they can regain their energy, manage their weight, and feel good in their bodies. Erica is a wife, mom of 2, and a pup. And she's also a spin instructor. She loves spending time in her veggie garden, going for family bike rides, and traveling. So that's a little bit about Erica. But Erica, I'm going to hand it over to you. Tell us a little bit more about how you became an entrepreneur. Were you always into health and wellness? Tell us a little bit about your story as to how you got here.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. I come from a family of entrepreneurs and family members that have been in corporate. So I, of course, have had a bit of both sides in me as well. But I have always had this need to just be in control of my day, be in control of when I get to eat and if I have a window in front of me and when I get to take a break to go for a walk. And so I was in the corporate advertising field for many years, but when I had my kids, I knew that I wanted to stay home and be with them. I also knew that I didn't want to completely lose touch with the corporate world or friends that I had made along the way. And I wanted my brain to be able to do more than just be a mom, which is great. So I had started a photography business and I did that for about 10 years. And I absolutely loved it. I still do some of it now. But I really became obsessed with being healthier because I was realizing that I needed energy in order to be able to keep up with these kids. I was tired of slogging through my days, aching for a nap, just trying to get to bedtime. So I ended up just kind of looking at what I was eating and just making little changes here and there, starting with, just trying whole grains. I remember being at the gym, excuse me, and hearing someone give advice about eating whole grains after you take spin. And I was like, what the heck is a whole grain? Like, what is this? And so I did my research and I just made that tweak. And then, soon after that, we started just piling on more veggies and cutting back the sugar. And just these tiny little small changes made a really big difference in how me and my husband felt. And ultimately how we started to think, how we started to act, and what my days became. So it's really incredible what can change just from how you feed yourself.
Absolutely. I feel like it's really about the nourishment, right? And I'm such a health fanatic, and I have a health and wellness background too. More on the exercise part. Exercise and mindset were more of my forte, are still my forte. But yeah, I feel like sometimes people don't realize that some of those small changes can really add up to making a big difference. It's like, okay, instead of eating, sugary cereal in the morning, you can start your morning off with, a piece of whole grain bread toasted with almond butter and, an apple, something like that, right? Yeah. But just like more nourishment, more nutrients that are actually going to give you the energy that are going to help you like keep going for the rest of the day until your next meal, right?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about how you see, like, what changes. Okay, so you made these changes, right? You started seeing some small results right away. How did you get to like the point where you were like, ow, like, wow, because I knock over my microphone. Wow, like this is really making a big difference in my life, and my husband's life, and like our family's lives, right? Because it starts to impact how you interact with your children. This is something that I want to make a career, a business. So how did you make that switch, or how did you like start that business?
Yeah. Well, I noticed that a lot of my friends just kept saying, like, how do you have energy for this? Like, how are you running around chasing your kids around, at dinner time? Like, I'm just watching from the window. Or like, how do you cook like that? Like, that meal looks really good. What do you make for them for snacks? And they would just ask me these questions about either what I was feeding my kids, because they noticed that they were pretty calm kids, and how I was feeding myself, because I think they saw that I was really interactive with my kids. I wasn't just sitting and watching them. And I was not tired. I mean, you have your off days when, of course, like you might not sleep as well and things like that. But overall, it was easy for me to get through the day. So when my kids were in, let's say, preschool and second grade, right before COVID hit, I had decided that I want to do this for a living. Like, I could help so many women feel better in their days. And that is so huge. It was so huge for me because all of our days add up to our lives. And if we're spending every day just trying to get through it, that's not a way to live in my eyes. Like, I am here for a short amount of time. And it sounds so dramatic when I say it, but we're all here for a short amount of time. Like, I want to make the best of this. I don't want to be held back when, my husband and kids go for a hike. I want to be the one that's asking everyone to go for a bike ride. I want to be doing these things with them. I want my world to be big. So when it got to that point, I thought, okay, let's go and get certified, get everything set up so that when they go to school and they're in school all day, I can get this business up and running. And so that's what I did. And then COVID hit,
Yeah.
which actually was not awful timing because, the first year, everyone spent so much time creating new habits. So it kind of helped interweave creating healthier habits with how people's lifestyles were changing.
Yeah. And I mean, I remember how crazy it was, but like those first several months of, what was it, 2020?
Yeah.
I don't even know what year
Yeah.
it all started. But yeah, I mean, I think there was so much temptation for people to, because I was still running my fitness business at this point, and people were coming to me and they were just like, I just don't know what to do. Like, I just feel like I should be snacking all day because I'm working from home. My refrigerator is right there. My pantry is right there. And it was just like that temptation to like be constantly snacking. And it was like taking them back to like, okay, well, how do you, well, first of all, like getting them into like the mindset of like, okay, well, just because like it's there, it doesn't mean that you have to have it. Like, are you really hungry? Are you bored? Like, what is it that you're really feeling? Because usually when we're just randomly snacking, it's not because we're actually hungry, right?
Right.
So, but yeah, I think that was a big thing that happened to a lot of people, and still now, because I think that now a lot of people are like settling into more of like a constant routine of like working at home, where they're like, their companies are like, all right, we are going to be working from home like ongoing. So people are more like, all right, like I really have to learn how to figure this out. Like,
Yeah.
no more excuses, right?
Yeah.
I can do this. I have the extra time. I don't have to commute, so I can use that extra time to figure out healthier meals, healthier snacks, and all of that.
Yeah. And the working out too on your end, because when you're home working, it's like, I'm in my leggings and my hoodie. Like, I have no meetings today. And it's all interwoven together between the eating and the moving. It's like, oh, I'm supposed to go work out now, but I've got my slippers on and it's warm, it's warm inside. Like, I don't want to go out. So the excuses are so much easier to cling to.
Exactly. And one of the things that I always tell people is, especially for entrepreneurs, since we work with entrepreneurs, you have to treat your exercise, your meal planning, whatever it is, whatever habits you're trying to incorporate into your daily routine, you have to put them in your schedule. Like that's
Yes.
just a no-brainer, because if you're like, oh, you know what, I'm going to work out tomorrow.
Yeah.
It may or may not happen, you know, but if you're like, all right, you know, I have, you know, even better, put an alarm in your phone. I put alarms on my phone for a lot of things that I don't want to forget. And, you know, then it's there, and it's like, it's a meeting with yourself, right? That you just
Right.
want to cancel.
Yeah.
So I'd love to know, so you know, you have this expertise. Do you find it hard from time to time to stick to your healthy habits? And if so, how do you deal with that?
Yeah. It's so interesting. It's the really tough times are when we go on vacation, because there's not always really healthy options available. And when you're on vacation, you're having treats. And that's my my downfall, is like the popcorn, the ice cream, the cinnamon buns, all of that kind of stuff. And it's like, well, we're on vacation, so we're going to go and get ice cream, and we're going to do this and this. And it's so much more than we're used to when we're home, that your body just starts craving those types of meals and those types of treats. So to come back home and have to be back to like the normal, you know, we'll have a treat on the weekend or something small here or there, it's a shift. And it's a really big, like, I love that you're into mindset, because it is, it all starts in your mind. And it's like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to feel better. Like, you have to, I even will still to this day, like, track how I feel after certain things, after I eat certain things, just to prove to myself, like, this is the right thing to do. And it's great, because when it's smacking you in the face, it's like, well, of course, like, I'm going to follow this path because I'm feeling better. And to me, the bottom line is, I would rather feel better than have the cinnamon roll. There's still time and there's still room for those things, just not every single day, like there might be on vacation. So it's really, you have to get really grounded with why you want to have this healthy lifestyle. Because if you're not attached to that reason, then the excuses will just take over. You'll give into your excuses, and it's just easy to get off track. Also, when you eat in a way that allows you to have those sweets and treats and drinks and things like that once in a while, you don't crave them as much. So, you know, in my program, we don't restrict. Like, there's no restrictions, and there's no counting calories, and there's no cutting out food groups and all of that. It's learning to have that balance so that I'm not binging on the weekend. I'm not craving sweets every single day. And if I do want one, like, I'll have the chocolate chip cookie, and then I'm okay to move on, because I know that it's not off the table for, 2 weeks or whatever it is. So yeah, you have to get really grounded with why you want that healthy lifestyle, and what that ultimately is going to mean for you on a daily level, as well as your life. What kind of life do you want to live? What kind of things do you want to do? What do you want to experience? What do you want to accomplish? How do you want to feel? Because at the end of the day, I want to look back and be really proud of how I lived my life. And I want my kids to know that I did this for them, and see how much of a difference eating healthy made for them in their lives because of what I did for myself. And hopefully that will get passed down. Fingers crossed.
Definitely. Yeah. And I think as mothers, that's always a big thing for us. Like, we want to set good examples for our children too, and show them, like, not necessarily telling them something like, oh, if you eat healthier, you're going to be skinnier or anything like that. But just like you said, talking about the other benefits of, like, you're going to have so much energy. If you have a sport that you like, you're going to be able to do so much better if you eat a certain way. And, my company, we work with entrepreneurs, and we help them, we do their podcasts. So, one of the things that I see from working behind the scenes and entrepreneurs who are, from, low 6 figures to 7 figures, is that, if they're not taking care of their health, then it starts to show. It shows in their live streams. That, you can sense somebody's energy from their live streams. You can sense it when you're on Zoom with them, and, like, You can tell if they haven't been sleeping very well. You can tell if they're not really hydrating very well. Eventually you can tell if they, have not been exercising very well or exercising consistently. So it all shows, like, our energy can be sensed on the screen. And it's important if building your business depends on you putting yourself out there, getting yourself visible. It's really imperative to take care of your health.
Yeah. Yeah, especially when you're building a business too, because it takes so much energy to build a business, like emotional energy, like just physical. You have to have energy in order to get through it all. There's a lot that gets thrown at you. So if you have that energy, and you have that clear mindedness, like, you're able to get so much more done and feel so much better about it all, that it just makes your day that much better. And you're able to schedule things like wellness and health in there with that.
Totally. And I always tell my clients, you focus on the things that you're good at. Everything else can be delegated, right? But you can't delegate eating healthy. You can't delegate exercise. You can't delegate sleep. So those are things that they need to be a top priority, because everything else, like, posting your social media content, writing your blogs, promoting your podcast, those things can be done by somebody else. But yeah, like, taking care of your self-care, that has to be done by you and only you. So it's very, very important. I have one more question for you, related to all this. And it's, back to some of the things that people come to me for. It's, a little bit of like a lack of confidence in maybe not feeling like they're 100% an expert yet. They think, okay, well, I don't have a big following on social media, or I don't have a book, and I don't have this, I don't have that. And first of all, anybody who's listening, who's thinking that, nobody is born an expert. Like, nobody wakes up one day and is like the almighty, like, authority in their niche, right?
Yeah.
You become that by learning, right? By having getting experience in whatever it is that you do. You do that by learning from other people, by having interactions with other people. And hint, you can do that by having your own podcast. But I think that one of the things too is, like, back to like how our energy comes off on screen. Like, do you have any tips for somebody who's like feeling a little bit low confidence in like how they come across on camera, or on like how they show up, on a podcast and a recording and an interview, anything?
Yeah. I think a lot of that comes from how you take care of yourself. So when you're not taking care of yourself, and you're not eating healthy meals, and you're not staying hydrated, and you're not having healthy snacks, and you're not exercising and doing all of those things, you don't feel good. It goes back to that mind-body connection. You're not going to feel good in your mind. You're not going to feel good in your body. Your energy is going to be low. And that's where you start to go down that spiral of making decisions that are comfortable for you, not necessarily what's best for you, and decisions that aren't supporting you. It's just trying to feed, like you were saying before, like, what's behind that craving. It's just trying to comfort that mood and that emotion that you're feeling. And so because of that, you're probably not going to want to get on screen. And when you get on screen, you're going to be thinking about how awful you look, or how awful you sound, or all of the things that go along with those bad choices and those bad thoughts. And it's all interconnected. But when you take the time and whether it's you start your day off with a walk or a good workout and a healthy breakfast, and you've got, lunch is already packed to go and healthy snacks on hand, and you're doing all of these things. I don't know about you, but it makes me really proud. It makes me feel really good about myself, because I'm taking care of myself, and that reflects outwardly in a lot of different ways. So when you're feeling good about yourself, your confidence just goes up. And so what I've noticed, I don't know if you do this, especially like last year, like the early years, not last year, but when I was a little bit unsure, like, I'm starting out new and I'm a little bit unsure about doing Facebook Lives and things like that. And I wouldn't do them. But now it's like, I feel so good about all the things I'm doing for myself. My confidence goes up. And so I'll have this burst of like, I can do anything. If I can take care of myself and make these shifts and changes and feel this good and have this energy, I can do that scary thing. And so I'll do the scary thing and I'll film my videos and I'll, show up live and do all the things that are uncomfortable while I'm feeling really good. And just by pushing myself through that process and saying like, oh, that wasn't bad at all. I actually enjoyed that. And when I look back, it's like, not that I look great in all my videos, but look, like my skin is improving from the last time, or I, excuse me, clearly have been sleeping better because I was really on top of my game this week. It helps break through those barriers, I think. So when you take care of yourself and you start to be really proud of what you're doing and you really love how you're feeling, you're going to start thinking differently, more positively. And it all just gets filtered into whatever you're doing throughout your day, whatever choices and whatever decisions. The mindset work starts to just happen somewhat naturally because you're feeding your body and your brain really good nutrients that help that effort.
Yes, 100%. So much truth in that. It's, it's the things that we're feeding ourselves physically, like what we're actually consuming, and then the things that we're feeding our minds too. They all add up to how we show up and yeah, like you said, we can focus on those times when we're feeling really good to go out there and do the scary thing. And one tip that I like to actually give is when you're like, if you have an event that you're getting ready for, like if somebody is, maybe a little scared to get on camera or to record themselves, I always say, okay, if you have like a date night that you're getting ready for, or you're going to an event like a wedding or something where you're going to have nice hair, maybe some makeup, record some videos because you're going to look, you're going to already look, a little bit more, put together probably than normal. That might give you a little bit of a confident boost. So record a few things when you're already in that state, in that like state of mind. So that's a little tip that I like to give. But yes, tip. Do you have any other words of wisdom for our mama entrepreneurs listening today?
Yeah, I just think start small. You don't have to take any big jumps. It's not about making a big leap. It's not about shifting your life in 1 week. It's about lots of little steps along the way and gaining that trust in yourself and trust in what you can do and accomplish. That's going to get you to a place that feels better. The minute you start taking care of yourself and being really mindful about how you're eating and how you're moving and how you're thinking, and then connecting that to how you're feeling and connecting that to the actions that you're taking in your business, it's all going to start to shift for you. And it even bleeds into your family life, right? So you'll have enough energy to do what you need to do through the day. And then when your kids come home, it's okay to shut the computer off and to go and be with them, where you're going to have more energy to go and really engage with them. And you're not going to be tapped out and tired and irritated by it. So it's just, I can't say it enough. It's just incredible what changes when you start being more mindful about what you're eating and how you're feeling. It's a trickle down effect, and the spread of what it can mean for you in your daily life is huge.
Great. Thank you so much, Erica. So if people want to learn more about you, where can they find you?
Yeah, my website is reviveyourtribe.com. I'm also on Facebook at Revive Your Tribe Rock, ROC. And my Instagram is revive.your.tribe. Yeah, those are the main places where I am. But feel free to shoot me an email if you have questions or if you need help. I'm here to chat.
Excellent. Thank you so much for being my guest today. And thank you to everybody listening. And I'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Elevated Femmes movement. I would love to hear your thoughts on the podcast, so please leave us a review. If you know someone who could benefit from the episodes on the show, please share it with them. We need more women elevating to their highest potential, enjoying all the great things in life, having plenty of time freedom for their children and loved ones, while growing a business that improves, not consumes, their life, and doing things in a smarter, not harder way. To connect with me and download my free resources, please go to www.juliamhickman.com.